Welcome back to my morning report analysis videos on Thursday, 3rd of January. Me, Rich Permark, analyst at Hantec Markets. Let's look at dollar yen, which is obviously the big news story in forex markets overnight. We had that flash crash. Dollar yen spiked lower. Let me just show you the intraday move that we saw last night, just before 11 o'clock actually UK time. We saw a sharp move to the downside, actually gapped. On this Reuters chart anyway, gapped sort of two and a half big figures, and then kept going to 104.96 I've got on this chart here, before unwinding and back towards around about where we see the market at the moment, sort of 107.70 that we are. So markets are already unwound to over two and a half big figures back higher again. So it's obviously a move that needs to continue to settle down, and how the market responds to this move, because obviously 108.10 was a key level of support. Interesting that 104.55, that was the 2018 low, that remained intact, but 108.10, that old support, which is a bit of a pivot area from earlier 2018, that becomes a basis of overhead resistance. And in fact, this unwinding move could now come back towards that as a sort of an old breakdown point, and could start to build resistance around there. So watch out for that as a level, because if it gets back above 108.10, you could argue, well, it could quite easily unwind and continue to unwind back towards the 109s. Hourly chart, we can see here that there was a breakdown below 108.70 from yesterday's low, or old low from yesterday morning. So again, that's a basis of resistance, but we've seen that unwinding move, which is sort of chopping around this morning, leaving a low at 106.75 area. Initial support, I suppose you could argue, which is where just before when the Europeans have taken control. So there is an aspect of support that is coming in there now, 106.75, but how the market now builds around that 108 figure area will be interesting, and whether that now starts to form as a basis of resistance, because this is certainly a key move to the downside. But quite often you'll see with these flash crash moves, it can quite often be sort of the basis where the market starts to form a bit of support. So we need to wait until the market really decisively does sort of find a bit more direction again, and once the dust has settled, I think we're going to get more of an idea how that plays out. But with that in mind, I wish you good luck in your trading, and I'll speak to you later.